So, welcome everyone to the launch of this amazing book, Global Gender Intelligence. And I think that you all should be very proud. And now, what we're going to do is talk about a couple of things that are available to you and how we as a collective group are promoting this book and how you can promote it and benefit off it individually as well. And I think it's really imperative that we think about this as a joint book, a global book. And the reason being that we all benefit from this. Even some of the Mars Venus coaches that aren't necessarily in this book may also be in the previous book that we had, Love and Coaching, or they may just simply not be in the book but want to be able to promote the book because, as we know, not only people reading this book are going to be aware that there is coaches out there that can help them in their relationships. So everyone promoting the book, whether there's somebody that is in your particular country or your area, if we're all promoting this book collectively, then what happens is we all benefit from this. So we all get to benefit in promoting this and helping each other to grow. And then obviously individually, there's a lot that you can do as well. So what I would like to do is, first of all, just briefly talk about what you can do. As I said, this is about helping others. So this book is about highlighting to people, as you've all shared your unique ways, how you use Mars Venus coaching, how you use John's teachings, and also your own story and your own benefits of how you can help people. So as we get this book out there, remember, this is about the reader. This is about all these people that we can actually help. So what I think is important is that you think about this as the media opportunities. I know that when I first started to work in Mars Venus coaching, I reached out to my local paper. So it's really important that you think about what can you do around your area as well. So what that means is contacting a local newspaper. It can be local radios or even podcasts, which are quite big at the moment. Even when I was out at the conference, not the last one, but the one before, even John himself said the opportunities now on podcasts. And don't always think that you have to go for the biggest podcast, because everybody that is even starting out in a podcast is still out there interviewing people and getting it out into their audience. So jumping on others' podcasts and letting them know that you've co-authored a book with Dr. John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Don't take that lightly, because when I first started out and I rang up the local newspaper, they came out with photographers, they came out with interviewers, and they did a big interview on me. They did pictures of John Gray with me, and this was before I had written a book. Before we'd done any of these books, this was just me becoming a Mars Venus coach. So reach out to your local media, like I said, your podcasts, places like that that enable you to leverage off this message and letting people know. Because remember, the more people that know about you and know that you're a coach that can help them, the more people that you're helping, and the more that you then grow your coaching business. So, like I said, even going to your local library and letting them know, I'll talk about how you can get some copies in a moment, but even taking a copy into your local library and letting them know, gifting them a copy, because people may then read it. And there's things that you can always do. If you're gifting a copy, for example, you could print a little sticker in the back of the book and say, and that sticker printed out could be your details of how to contact you as a local author. So even doing something like that, even think about where else your key target market is. So everyone's going to have different target markets. So everyone's going to have people that are their ideal clients. So think about, where do your ideal clients go? So I want you to think about, where else are your ideal clients? So if you're working with businesses, is there a local accountant that you could gift the book to with your details in the back? Is there a local hairdresser, because you're working with a lot of couples and the females might go in and get their hair done and they want to flick through a book. So think about the book is a way to be able to share the message, but also get you to attract more clients, of your ideal clients. So sometimes gifting a book, like I said, with a sticker in the back of your details, or selling the book as well. So you could do an event. The other thing a lot of our authors do is they do a book launch, and they use the book launch as a really great way of being able to attract their ideal clients to like a little bit of a celebration. So what that might look like is even a local cafe, it could be your local library, and it could be putting something in the local newspaper, or doing an email out and saying, would you like to come along to a book launch? I've just co-authored a book with Dr. John Gray, and I'm going to be talking about some of the ways that we can improve our relationships at work, in our life. So wherever your target market is, and you can do a little talk at the event and bring people in. Remember, this is a way, and a great way, of you being able to say that you've co-authored this book, but make it a little bit of a book launch and a way to be able to educate people on what it is that. So that's really important to think about, things like that. Even if you're working with businesses, like I said, it could be a book launch at a local cafe, or an accountant's, or different things like that. So really hone in on that and take advantage of it. Now, we've got some great things that we've done, and I want to be able to just share my screen to be able to show people some of this information that you're going to have in your folders. So all the links or everything will be in your folders. So don't worry about that. We'll make it really easy for you. But I wanted to just share quickly some mock-up covers that you will have. So these are some mock-up covers that will be all in your drive. So you can pull them, put them on websites. You'll see here, this is the reason that they've been done like this, is when you pull them out, they'll just be the books themselves. So all these are available for you just to download. The book itself is converted into an ebook as well. And there's also this QR code, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Authors to You platform, which you will all have access to as well. The great thing about getting this book out there and really promoting it, which the team have done some amazing things with, I'll share some good news about that in a moment. But this also is another thing that is really great for you to use to grow your coaching business individually and share your message. So this is totally up to you. But basically, what you'll have in your folder is you'll have your chapter, and it will be what we call an excerpt. So what that means is that when they're grabbing this book, they're going to have a section from John Gray. So you've got John talking about the book here. It's going to have some unlocked bonuses for the people. So you can even use this as a lead magnet if you want on your website, where you can say, put your name and email here, and we'll send you an excerpt of my chapter and inside of the book. Now, it lets them know that there's lots of other people in the book that they get to read. And so, like I said, it's got the content, it's got some bonus things, it's got John's chapter, and then it goes on to your chapter, and then Rich's chapter. So it really enhances about what Mars Venus is. So again, like I said, this, and then what you'll find right at the bottom, sorry for the fast scroll here, but I want to get through my chapter to show you what everyone will have their own individual excerpt. And then what will happen is it's got Rich's chapter, so it tells them all about that. And this is endorsing you. John's now talked about his Mars Venus coaches, your chapter, and then it's got Rich talking about, again, all of the benefits of coaching, which reinforces, again, the coaches. And then right at the bottom, let me scroll here. Right at the bottom, it will say you can purchase a full copy of this book from the person who provided you with this excerpt. So basically from there, they'll be updated in everyone's folders. So they've just been pulled together. So you can use them, like I said, to give away, or you could use them as a opt-in on your website to grab some more name and emails to remarket to. And like I said, you've got all of these images here. And then the team has worked really crazy behind the scenes. And guess what? You are now all #1 best-selling authors. So we hit #1 Amazon bestseller on quite a few categories. So all of these are also going to be available to you so that you can use these, promote these as a best-selling author. And again, all the stickers and everything are there for you to be able to put on your website, download, use in magazines, articles. If you get a local advert in a magazine or even on the podcast or anything like that, you can actually send them high resolution photos. So we got it in consultancy, psychology, business diversity and inclusion, and business diversity inclusion ebooks. So that's really cool. We've got some screenshots there that you can actually use and promote and things like that, and it'll show hot new releases in consulting psychology books and things like that. So that's pretty exciting, and that's all going to be in your drive. So I know that there's lots of information, but I want to make sure that you are really prepared and that you really are excited about what this is going to do in one, lifting your profile. I know it did for me. And then, like I said, using this book. The other thing that we have also set up for the whole Mars Venus team is an author to you platform. So you'll have this also in your drive. And what's so exciting about this is, of course, you can get your own copies, and your own copies will be for you to give out locally, to sign a copy, to do a book launch. But if you just simply want to get the book out there and into people's hands, collectively as the Mars Venus global audience, this will go out to all the Mars Venus coaches to be able to collectively share this message with the world. And what this means is that no matter where the reader is in the world, they'll be able to purchase this book, and we'll be able to see where they're coming from. So I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the landing page that they'll go to, and we've got the book here. We've got all the write-up here. Some of these prices will be fixed up. And then we've got Love and Coaching, which is the second book. So what is exciting about this is this will all go into a shopping cart. So when people go to buy the book, they can buy it now, they can add it to the cart, they can go and add this one to the cart, for example, and then they can go to their cart or buy now, go through directly to a checkout page. What that then means, this is just some other books that we had, this means that they can just buy it really easy with Google Pay or Shop, or they can go through and enter their details. What's so exciting about this is that in the back end, we will be able to track this so that we know where the people have ordered from. So as a collective Mars Venus global coaches, what will be exciting about this is that as these authors start coming in, we can then repurpose to them, which I'll be working with Rich on, in funnels that will say, hey, did you know that we've got some Mars Venus coaches in your area? Really allowing us to know where they're purchasing from, which means they've got an interest in this work. And then we can send them an email that allows them to click on the link and find a coach in their country. So, for example, just because I'm in Australia, there might be somebody that has purchased the book, but they would really like to work with someone maybe in their country of birth, and they really want to work with them. It doesn't matter where the person is, they can connect with the coach no matter where they are in the world. And we'll be doing some work with Rich in doing some book funnels. So obviously some of these people might want to become a coach, join our community. Some of these people might want to find a coach in their community. But the great thing is we're now going to be able to find out where these people are purchasing it from. Whereas typically before, if we send them to Amazon, we don't know who's purchasing it. We don't know where in the world they're purchasing it. They're getting the book, but we don't know who they are. The great benefit now of having the Author to You platform is we know where the purchases are coming from, which means that we can work with the Mars Venus Global team to be able to put them in a book funnel and start letting them know about what our amazing Mars Venus coaches can do. So that's really exciting. So collectively as a group, we can send people to this link and they can buy. The other thing is then we can use by the time they've printed it, picked and packed and sent, as we know from platforms, there's not much left at the end. But what it allows then to do is some of that money can go back into remarketing and purposing this book and getting more people interested in knowing about what Mars Venus coaches can do. So that'll be really
Where do
exciting.
I find that link? Is that in the drive?
Yes, so I'm going to put that in the drive. The link is both, I'll show you here.
The
Link.
reason I ask is I can put it in the newsletter that goes out to 50,000 people a month.
Exactly. So you'll see here, author2you.com, Mars Venus.
Okay.
So there's also that QR code. So I'm going to be sending that out to you, Rich, so that everything is there and clean. And it's just really collectively, this is a great way that we can all benefit from this amazing book. Now, if
Got it.
you yourself want to also purchase some copies, all you need to do is send an email to support@deanpublishing.com. And I'm going to put that also in the email when we send out this recording. But if you want to pop that in the chat, Monique, yeah, that's perfect. Monique's done that already. So you can send an email to support@deanpublishing.com. What will happen then is if you tell us how many copies you want, we'll come back to you with an individual quote because it really depends upon where you are in the world. But as an example, you could be paying like $9.50 US or something like that for books if you just got 30 copies. Now, again, that depends upon what part of the world you're in. It depends upon whether you want 30 copies, 50 copies. But if you give us an idea, we can come back to you with some quotes. So even if you said to us, look, can you just tell me, here's my address. Now we need your full address to be able to make sure that we get the courier shipping fee correct for you. And what that might be is, here's my exact address. We need every detail of your address. And then you might even say, look, how much would it be if I got 30 copies, 50 copies, or 100 copies? So you can give us 3 different levels if you like, and then we can come back to you with a quote, and then you just confirm the order, and then we'll send you an invoice. Once the invoice is paid, we'll place the order and the books will be shipped directly to you. So
I was surprised, Susan, how well you got it to Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. They were sitting there in the hotel when I arrived. Monique, I know that was you, not Susan. Thank you.
it was a race against time and it was pulling some favors. I know we reached out to our printers and said, pretty please, this is going to a
Yeah.
conference. So everyone, this is the official launch. The reason that we got the books there is we really did want to have a physical copy, and we literally skipped a step and got Rich to approve it, so that now we've got it up. And like I said, we've now got Amazon bestseller and we've got so much that's been done. But now we officially can launch it to you as the proud authors of this book. And you can now, and like Rich said, we're going to launch this out to all of the Mars Venus coaches so that then collectively we can promote the book through Authors to You, which everyone benefits from because we'll put them into the book funnels. But also, if you want your own books, to do your own book launch, to be able to do your own book launch and things like that, absolutely, you can order as many copies as you want. Now I know that we've got a couple of, how does it go to Amazon bestseller so fast? So the reason that it goes to Amazon bestseller so fast is the magic that we do behind the scenes. It's all about, how do you get the keyword searches out there? How do you put all the metadata in the back end? And then what we do is we put it out to all of our groups and teams and everyone buys it. So I've got a team of people that go in and they love to learn about new books that are out there. And so it's really about the categories that you choose, the metadata that you choose, and then who's buying where at what time. So it's a little bit like the record bestsellers. Just because you're number one bestseller on the charts of the top 40 in the music days, I don't know if any of you are old enough to know, but I know I used to have my little singles, 45 singles that used to be out, and you'd be a top seller. But now what it means, the good thing that it means is, because we've hit that, it alerts the algorithms to let Amazon know that this book is being purchased a lot. So the whole purpose of going for bestseller is, once you're a bestseller, you're a bestseller. But two, it also alerts the back end, the algorithms, to say this book is being purchased. This is a new book out and it's being purchased. The great thing is, the more that we're doing this and the more that we're getting it out there, the more that it can go back up to number one. It can drop down to 4 or 5 and it can keep going back up. It can get number one in different categories, and we can collectively as a group even start getting it to stay at number one in different parts of the world. So it's really important to know that. And so our team has been working on this since the conference, to be able to get it to this. And then now it's up to us as a collective group to keep this momentum and keep this book in the charts and also in the algorithms of Amazon for people to be alerted. So I'm sure that you would have seen before, if you like this book, maybe you'll like this book too. And that's what this all does to help. And we've got here John Gray's book in promoting, and that the book. Well, what we're also going to do is, we've got some images of, I think, John holding the book, and we've got some different works there. And I think that's a discussion that now Rich and I can have, in being able to do some stuff where it doesn't take up a lot of John's time, but what we can do is start funneling this out. So I think that as far as like promoting and letting people know about the book, I think it's a collective effort. We all need to get out there and promote it. We all need to use it as a way of helping others. And also, like I said, use it as an opportunity to draw in your own clients, to get a little get together and a great excuse. And what I love about a book launch too is that people can come to a book launch on their own. They feel like they're coming to a little bit. I used to bring it in, make it like a little bit of a mini keynote combined with a book launch. And it gets people's interest, especially if you can get a local, like I said, a cafe or something that might be new, that's happy to bring people in. It becomes a win-win. So get your creative minds thinking, but it's collectively us as a group, and then as an individual, how you want to use this book to start drawing in clients. So and I'll answer any more questions, but for now, I just want people to think about a two-way street. Promote the QR code and the author to you. We're all promoting, we're all getting this message out there. And then two, think about you and yourself. What podcasts could you go on? If the great thing I love about the author to you too, if you're on a podcast that's also global or that has a big reach, you can actually send them the link in the show notes. And what that means is, you don't have to pack these books, ship these books, and do all the logistics of what it normally would take. You can keep your books to a minimum, only need to buy as many as you want, so there's not a huge outlay. But essentially, if you want to send people off just to get the book and read your chapter, you can use that link. So there's two ways that you can really get that book into the right people's hands. So again, if you want to order copies, we can get you prices of those. Otherwise, you've got the QR link. You've got lots of images there. Put it on your website. You can even do it that if they purchase off you, you can sell it for the recommended retail price. And then, of course, you can package them up, put them in your own little packages and send them off yourself to potential clients. I know that both Michael and I really grew our coaching business using books. And what we would do is, even going to your local little, I don't know what they are in different countries, but I know for us, we have like an Officeworks or a print shop, and getting yourself even like a little bookmark or something, and putting a little marker in the book where your chapter is. And then we would post them out, especially for potential clients that we knew what was it going to cost me by the time I got a book for maybe $10 and I posted it out? What was the potential of that cost to then get a client over the line? And that was what we used our book for, was to not just get the sale from the book, but use the book as the way to seal the deal, to get them to come to us and hire us as a coach. So I know that was something that built our authority. It gave people confidence that they went, well, hang on, if they've written a book with John Gray, they are legit. They do know his methods and his teachings. And so it really built that credibility for us to sign and close the deal when it come to coaching clients. So that was the best way that we used the potential. Is it appropriate to read the entire chapter at this bookstore or cafe or less? Look, yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing a book reading. Like I said, organizing it at a library, at a cafe, and reading out your chapter will really connect the audience with you. And if your chapter's not too long, otherwise, like I said, pull the best bits out, talk about maybe some of the general teachings around John Gray, even get to the point where you might read out a little bit of John Gray's section of the book, and then of course send them to the back of the room to go purchase their copies. But make sure that you've ordered your bulk copies first from us and they arrive. Sometimes, especially over the Christmas period, they can close, and depending on what part of the world that you're in, it could take a few weeks. So when you're booking your book launch, make sure that you ask the team, when will my books arrive, so that your books are there ready for you to sign as the author at the back of the room when you've finished your talk. That's a great idea, is to do a book reading. The other way that's really good is to get someone to interview you. Give the interviewee the questions that you want them to ask you. So for example, how did you get involved in Mars Venus coaching? What is John Gray like? And so you can give the interviewee lots of questions that then lead into you being able to express what you want to say. And then of course, get people involved in, well, what is coaching? Or what do you mean a Mars Venus coach? What could I learn from that? So there's some of the questions you could get the interviewee to ask you, and then you're at the front of the room, and then the audience themselves gets to hear a little bit about what you do inside of coaching. So again, get the interviewee to ask you questions like, tell me a little bit about your coaching, because it then gives you permission to then talk to the audience, and then of course sell your book at the back of the room. So lots of sort of ideas there, but think about this as not a book sale. Think about this as a coaching client sale. And so how can you be using this book to promote you, to leverage you as an authority, as an author with John Gray, and to then enable people to get to know, like, and trust you, read about what you've got in your chapter, align you with John Gray, which lifts your credibility. And then obviously you can do anything. You can say anyone that attends gets a free diagnostic, or whatever we call it now. I'm sorry, Rich, if we call it that or not. I know that I've been around for a while and some of the language has changed, but use this opportunity that people get to purchase the book and they get a bonus session with you. There's lots of ways that you can be using this. Really get your creative juices flowing. But this is a great honor and a great privilege to be able to co-author a book with John. It's something that, you know, is amazing, something that you should be super proud of. And now leverage this as much as you can, because it is a great honor that John and Rich have allowed everyone to do. And yeah, now I think it's about us really getting out there and seeing how we can use this book to really grow our coaching business. So is there any other questions or anything from you, Rich, that you wanted to add?
No, I'm very excited. I used the other one, the last one, the Love and Coaching. This one I think turned out better. The look and feel of it, I think everybody should be proud of it. And I can't tell you how many times a day I say I've written 2 books with John Gray. I just love saying that. Not one, two.
Absolutely. Yep. I love it. So any other questions in the chat? I think thanks. We've got great info. Is the price standard globally or adjusted? Look, it's usually globally on the author to you page. It is adjusted globally on Amazon and different platforms for different places, and you can do your own recommended retail price, so you can adjust it on your website. So in some instances, what we could do is if there is a particular price that you think would land better in your country, we can set up a code that you could use. So if, for example, you got some copies and you wanted to sell them yourself because you're sending them locally, great. But if you wanted a code and you didn't want to print copies, you just wanted to send them to author to you to get them print, pick, packed, and sent, and that's just what you want to do. If you reach out to us, we can give you a code, and what that can do is that code can allow you to give some discount to your particular country, because I know that book prices have got to be, there's got to be a standard globally, but for you, if they do adjust slightly in your country, we can give you a code that you have privately just for your particular region. So yeah.
And if I can add one thing, I don't know how many of you have a website through Mars Venus, MarsVenusCoachMalcolm.com, but I'll show you an example. Let me just share my screen real quick. This is one of our coaches in the UK. She was in the last book. Her name is Rani. She was in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt with us. And so on her regular website, down here on the left side, she added book. So if you click right here, this is the last book, and you can order now, and you can buy it directly from her. I think it's $7.69. And so when you order it, it's a download. You're welcome to do that as well. So I'm just telling you, if you have a Mars Venus site, my guy John Larson, who's been with us for 15, 16 years, he'll set that up for you. So it'll have the book as a download, you can sell it, and the money would go directly to you. So this goes to her account. And again, it's not a physical copy. You could do that if you wanted to and then ship it to them. She didn't want to do that from the UK. So all she did was make it as a download, and she sells them all the time. She said, I sell 10, 15 of them a month. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have a website and now you want one, just reach out to me. I'll show you how to set that up, and you'll work with John Larson to get your own website, and you can sell the books there. Okay?
Yep. Yep, beautiful. So all of that will be there, yeah, and available. I think that's great. And yeah, reach out to Rich. The point is, the more that we get this book out there, the more that collectively we all share this book. It's really about spreading the word, because even sometimes now, and I've been a part of Mars Venus for such a long time, I'll say to people, they'll say, oh, is there really Mars Venus coaches? I'll say, yes, you need to jump on and find someone in your particular region. And so that's really good that collectively, even if I'm promoting a book, I could be on a global podcast, but somebody else can then find a coach in their particular area. So, and the same goes for everyone. So, yeah, set up
Just
the
remember, the whole
website.
purpose of this is to build your credibility. It is the biggest challenge coaches have in the world, is getting out there and building credibility, which is why I push the workshop model, because that builds your credibility and your confidence. This is another way to do it. And so when you say I wrote a book with John, I'm telling you, you have credibility. You need to work that credibility.
Absolutely. And it's up to you also. The other thing that just came to mind too is that if people are coming to a workshop, you can do things like, if they're coming to a physical workshop, you can say it includes a copy of the book co-authored by John Gray
Yep.
and myself. You can give them a download. You can say that's included. So you can package them and build them up with some of your, anyone signing up this month gets a free copy of the book that I
Do you know,
co-authored.
every client I have, Susan, first session, I bring them the Love and Coaching book. Here, I want you to read my book. They go, your book? Yeah. I'm just telling you, it builds credibility, and that's what we all need as coaches.
Yep, it's got to be our point of difference. We've got to stand out. So that's absolutely fantastic. So
Mm.
the book is a beautiful book. It's a great read. Everyone's chapter is individual, unique, and it
Especially
really,
mine. Mine is the best. So read my chapter. Thanks, Monique.
yeah. So that's all beautiful. So I think if there's no other questions, I think it's just really about, we will, like I said, get this recorded for anyone that couldn't be here. We'll have a link there. but you've all got your own folders. So I believe they're all in there as well. And I'll make sure Rich has got all the links. But if
Yeah.
not, go to your
I
folders.
need the two. I need the two link, the one you just showed us with the QR, and I need this recording that I can send it out tomorrow or Wednesday. Okay?
Correct. Yep, I'll get that all done for
Good.
you. And everyone else has got all of their excerpts in their folders. And again, just a reminder, support at deanpublishing.com if you want some quotes on getting some books delivered
Yeah.
physically to you.